Have you heard about the concept of the big lie? The big lie is a propaganda technique often linked to Hitler. The idea is very simple. If your lie is big enough, people might actually believe it. And if you repeat a lie often enough, people end up buying it. Do you know who's trying to use the concept now? China. In a bid to control the narrative, China is spreading lies and spending money on messaging. The coronavirus outbreak is the biggest challenge the communist regime has faced. China's pro-development image has taken a beating. China's donation diplomacy has backfired. China's lies and supplies have few takers now. So Beijing has launched a PR campaign. It is spending big money to buy good press. On Gravitas tonight, we will expose China's coronavirus propaganda. It's a two-pronged plan, really. It is designed for the digital age. First, use state media outlets to push positive stories. And second, use popular social media websites to push that content. Pay for ads on social media websites. Get more views. China's state-owned media is the vehicle for this propaganda campaign. How do they do it? Well, Stanford University has come up with a new study. The study says that the Chinese state media is actively trying to shape conversations online. The study found that Chinese media is pumping more posts on Facebook. From January this year, there's been a dramatic jump in content that was paid for by the Chinese government, what you call paid news. Here's a revealing example. See how China tried to spin a negative story in its favor. The story is dated February 13th. It was published on China Daily. It says, and I'm quoting, "Good news. A 33-year-old woman infected with novel coronavirus pneumonia gave birth to a baby girl with no infection." It does sound like good news, but it's only half the story. The report did not give the bad news. No infection, it says. This newborn was the youngest person to be tested positive for the coronavirus. The spin doctors chose to bury this. Let me give you one more example. 29th January, CGTN, Chinese state television, said that Wuhan had built a hospital in 6 days. Well, China sent countless videos and pictures for the world to see. I'm sure you too saw those trucks in action and wondered if any other country in the world can build hospitals so fast. It did seem incredible. The fact is, China did build a hospital in record time, but it was not 6 days, as CGTN claimed. It took 2 weeks. You could forgive the exaggeration, but not something like this. This was perhaps the most shocking attempt to mislead, the death of Dr. Li Wenliang. We've run many reports on him on this show. He was the first whistleblower doctor, the man who tried to warn about the coronavirus outbreak. Dr. Li was threatened and reprimanded by the Chinese officials for speaking out. Later, he contracted the coronavirus himself and he died in February. How did China tell his story? The government's mouthpiece, the People's Daily, put this spin to the story. It said that Dr. Li passed away after quote-unquote an all-effort rescue. It tried to show how the system went all out to save him. No mention of the threats, no mention of the censorship that he suffered. These may appear like small instances, but you have to look at the cumulative effect. It is small stories that construct the big picture. The picture that China wants to portray is that of a government valiantly saving its people and selflessly helping the world. China is already trying to rewrite the history of the coronavirus. It is making sure that its version prevails. We often say that if it's not on social media, it did not happen. Well, China is making sure that its version rules on social media, including here in India. China is spending big money to boost posts. Facebook keeps a record of ads run by major social media pages. So you can verify everything that I'm saying. You can access these pages. The record is called the Facebook Ad Library. This evening, we looked up which ads were being run by China. At that point, the state-run global channel CGTN was running ads. We found 83 active ads for India alone, which makes sense because India is under lockdown. People are spending more and more time on social media, including on Facebook. So there's a good chance that a lot of them will see these ads. Many of you may have seen these ads. What are these ads? These are basically stories that promote Wuhan, stories that sing praises of China's response to the outbreak. We've pulled out some examples for you. One ad tells the story of China's proactive measures in the city of Wuhan, what happened after the lockdown was lifted. Another says that Wuhan is now quote-unquote open to the outside world. A third one declares that Wuhan's lockdown worked. All of these messages are targeted for India. They make the Indian audience feel that China's response was perfect. They promote China's propaganda. There's a surge of such posts from the Chinese state media, and there's a bulk of money from the Chinese state to boost these posts. China's cash is supercharging its campaign. Make sure you don't fall for the lies.